May 26, 1942. 11:47 a.m. The Palazzo Venezia, Rome. Sunlight pours through tall windows onto marble floors already warm from the Italian spring. Inside the map room, a dozen senior fascist officers crowd around a scale model of the newest American tank captured in Libya. The M3 medium, nicknamed Grant by the British, sits on the table like a drunken giraffe. Turret too small, hull too tall. A pathetic 75mm cannon bolted awkwardly into the right sponson as if an afterthought. General Gaston Gambara leans forward, cigar clenched between teeth, and actually laughs out loud. "Look at this monstrosity," he snorts, flicking the model's high silhouette with a gloved finger. "A moving cathedral, one round from our 80s and it will burn like cardboard." Laughter ripples around the table. Someone mimics the tank rocking side to side, pretending to fall over. Another officer slaps the table. "The Americans build refrigerators, not tanks." Across the Mediterranean, in a dusty tent outside Tobruk, Erwin Rommel reads the same intelligence photographs and allows himself the faintest smirk. Even the Desert Fox, no friend of Italian bravado, has to admit, the thing looks ridiculous. But 3,000 miles away in the port of Suez, British crews are already stripping away the American stars and painting desert tan over olive drab. Sergeant Ted Wilkes runs his hand along the Grant's riveted armor and mutters to his driver, "She's ugly as sin, but she's ours now." And somewhere inside that tall, clumsy hull, two cannons are waiting to speak. Gazala Line, Libya. 5:12 a.m. The sun is still a red smear on the horizon when the first Italian artillery spotter on Hill 209 rubs his eyes in disbelief. Through the haze, he sees ghosts, hundreds of them, tall silhouettes lumbering forward like drunk giants. The M3 Grants, 41 of them in the first wave alone, 8th Army's new 22nd Armored Brigade, engines snarling across the sand in perfect arrowhead formation. Inside the lead tank, Daffodil, Lieutenant Colonel Archie Sterling grips the turret ring, sweat already soaking his shirt. The Grant's intercom crackles. "Driver, advance. Gunner, traverse right. There's an Italian column at 11 o'clock. Trooper Ernie Potts, the loader, slams a 75mm round into the sponson gun. The shell is American, the tank is American, but the crew is British. And right now they're all that stands between Rommel and the road to Egypt. On the Italian side, Captain Ugo Cavallero of the Ariete Division lowers his binoculars and laughs again, just like Gambara did in Rome. "Look at them! They're so tall we don't even need to aim!" He orders his gunners to open fire. 88mm shells scream across the desert. The first Grant, Daisy, takes a direct hit on the front plate. The round ricochets skyward with a shower of sparks. The tank doesn't even slow down. Another shell, another ricochet. Cavallero's laughter dies in his throat, because now the Grants are answering. The low, brutal cough of the sponson-mounted 70s fives rolls across the plain like thunder. Where Italian M1340 tanks have thin 30mm armor and pop-gun 47mm cannons, the Grants spit high-explosive shells that punch straight through and turn crews into red mist. One Italian tank erupts in orange fire, then another, then three more in 30 seconds. From the turret of Daffodil, Sterling watches an entire company of Ariete tanks disintegrate in front of him. "Bloody hell," he whispers, almost reverent. They weren't ready for this. But Rommel is already reacting. Somewhere behind the smoke, the 1st Panzer IIIs of 15th Panzer Division are swinging north to flank. The Grants have shocked the Italians. Now they have to survive the Germans. Bir El Harmet, 80 miles south of Tobruk, 12:03 p.m. The temperature inside a Grant is 125 degrees Fahrenheit. The air tastes of cordite, diesel, and fear. Sergeant Ted Wilkes's tank, Cairo Clipper, has just crossed the invisible line the British called the Cauldron. Italian gunners are still screaming into radios that the American tanks are invulnerable. German ones are learning the hard way that they are not. A Panzer III. Special, its long 50mm gun gleaming, slides out from behind a burning Italian M13 like a shark smelling blood. The German commander, Oberleutnant Hans von Luck, lines up the perfect shot. 600 meters, straight at the Grant's towering side. The shell strikes just below the turret. Metal shrieks, but the Grant keeps coming. Inside Clipper, the impact feels like the world's biggest hammer. Wilkes is thrown against the radio set, blood streaming from his forehead. The 75mm Sponson gun answers before anyone even gives the order. Boom! The German tank's turret lifts clean off its ring and spins into the sand like a tossed coin. Von Luck bails out, stunned, staring at the monster that just killed his crew. He had mocked the Grants in briefings the night before. Now he's running for his life. Across the battlefield, the same scene repeats 100 times. Italian anti-tank gunners fire frantically at the high silhouettes. Easy targets, they thought, only to watch their 47mm shells bounce off like hailstones. Then the Grant's 37mm turret gun swivels with casual precision and silences them forever. By 2 p.m., the Ariete Division has lost 32 tanks and is streaming east in full retreat. Their commander, General Giuseppe Tellera, already dead months earlier, but no one has told the men, is now just a name on a casualty list. The laughter that echoed in Rome 24 hours ago is gone. In its place, stunned silence, then panic. But Rommel has not broken yet. He personally leads a counterattack with the fresh 21st Panzer Division, swinging north to hit the Grants in their vulnerable flanks. 88mm flak guns unlimber on a low ridge the Tommies call Snipe. The first Grant to crest that ridge is Daffodil again. Archie Sterling sees the guns too late. A single 88mm shell punches through the lower hull at 1,200 meters. The explosion lifts the 31-ton tank 6 inches off the ground. Ammunition cooks off in a blinding orange bloom. Sterling never feels the end. For the first time all day, a Grant dies spectacularly. Rommel watches through binoculars, lips thin. The desert fox has found the antidote. So the question now, are there enough 80s to stop 500 more? Knightsbridge Box, 20 miles west of Tobruk, 19:14 p.m. The sun bleeds out across the desert, turning the smoke columns the color of dried blood. In 12 days, the Grants have done the impossible. They've turned Gazala from a looming Axis triumph into a meat grinder. Rommel's original plan, slice north, encircle Tobruk, drive to Cairo, lies in smoking ruins, along with 230 Italian tanks and 49 panzers. Italian officers who once posed for photographs kicking the M3's tall hull now refuse to speak its name. But the cost has been brutal. Of the 276 Grants shipped to Egypt, 112 are already wrecks or under repair. The 80s have learned exactly where to aim. Lower hull front, driver's plate, anything below 40 degrees. Inside a hastily dug liga south of the battlefield, British fitters work by lantern light. They weld on extra track links as makeshift armor, strip the useless 37mm turret guns for weight, and scavenge radios from knocked-out Crusaders so the big 75 can actually talk to infantry. The tank that Rome laughed at is evolving in real time. Captain Bill Close, 3rd Royal Tank Regiment, stands on the back of his newly patched Grant Devonshire and addresses his exhausted crew. Listen up. Tomorrow Monty takes over 8th Army. Word is he's bringing every Grant still rolling into one fist. One hammer blow right at Rommel's supply line. We started this fight as the joke. We finish it as the punchline. 100 yards away, a lone Italian prisoner, a lieutenant from the Trieste division, is marched past the Liga under guard. He stops dead when he sees the wall of tall silhouettes being refueled and rearmed. 50, 60, 70 Grants. More than he thought existed in the entire desert. The British sentry prods him to keep moving. The Italian turns, eyes wide, and in perfect English whispers, "Dio mio." They weren't prototypes. They were the first wave. He is still staring when the sentry shoves him into the wire cage. Out on the darkening plain, the low growl of Maybach engines tells the British that Rommel is pulling back to the next line. The one the maps call the Cauldron again, as if the desert itself is hungry for another round. But this time, the monster has a new commander. A quiet, pipe-smoking general named Bernard Montgomery, who has just arrived from England with one simple order: end it. Tomorrow at dawn, the Grants roll west in numbers Rommel has never seen, and the laughter that began in a marble room in Rome will finally, irrevocably, die in the sand.